Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers hold a rice distribution in Tondo, a slum in the Philippines. And we meet a family in Yuli, Taiwan, where a mother and her 2 daughters have won Tzu Chi's New Shoot scholarships this year. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. Taiwan's love is reaching far and troubled corners of the Philippines. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers held a rice distribution in Tondo of Manila to help the poor. Many of the recipients were single-parent families struggling to feed their children. Thankfully, with a 20-kilogram bag of rice in hand, at least for now, the parents don't have to worry about money for food. This is Tondo, a slum of Manila where many residents live amongst garbage and trash. Though this place is called Happy Land, laughter is seldom heard here.
Minsan po, mahirap, minsan.
We may be living in a place called Happy Land, but life here is not always happy. There are days that we don't have enough to feed all 14 of us.
Ganon.
Ay wala na po kaming magawa, talagang ganon talagang buhay. Hindi naman talaga ang trabaho ng asawa ko, yun lang po talaga vendors lang.
Tzu Chi volunteers have long cared for the residents of this community. This time, the angels in blue and white have also brought news of a rice distribution.
Back then, when we had a fire here, I remember that Tzu Chi was the first one to extend relief to us.
As the site of the distribution is the Jingsi Hall, it was also a chance for the students of Tzu Chi's vocational training to display their talents and encourage the rice recipients to join the course. With a 20-kilogram of rice in their arms, the unease in recipients' hearts has been eased.
It is indeed a great help to us, even though we can't afford to buy meat and veggies. As long as we have rice, my family will be okay.
Through Tzu Chi's aid distributions, the love from Taiwan in the form of rice has been able to reach the hands of those in need in the Philippines, especially single mothers. Volunteers Remedios Bautista knows full well the struggles of being a single parent, as she herself has to raise 3 children on her own. Seeing a care recipient living underneath a bridge amongst garbage really tugged at Bautista's heart.
I'm happy that we are able to help them because, in my mind, I'm also being helped. I return the favor Tzu Chi gave me by helping my fellow impoverished neighbors.
Luz Viminda Tindoy has 12 children. Her husband does odd jobs to make a living, while she sells flowers to sustain her family. The family only eats 1 meal a day.
I really feel the difficulty of raising 12 children, especially when it comes to food.
For 4 months in a row, Tzu Chi volunteers have provided rice for these impoverished residents to feed the children and ease the parents' worries. The 69th Doctor's Day celebration coincided with the Taiwan Medical Exemplar Awards ceremony at the Grand Hotel. A total of 15 winners were honored, while 1,225 doctors with 40 to 70 years of experience were recognized for their contribution to Taiwan. Many of the medical stories were told through print, radio, and TV reports, which also won recognition at the ceremony.
Amongst the 15 award winners of the Taiwan Medical Exemplar Awards is Lin Wenyuan, a physician at Jiayi County's Fanlu Public Health Clinic. He has been offering mobile medical care to this remote mountainous community for nearly 20 years.
Jiayi County is the most rapidly aging municipality in Taiwan. Each week, I undertake 3 medical trips through the area, visiting different locations, visiting each region about once a week.
Spreading medical care and compassion to rural communities to look after disadvantaged groups is the goal of this mobile medical services team. It has also generated a number of reports of their service on the internet, which alerted judges to this excellent work.
When these patients are treated by the doctor, there is a big smile on their face, which is the best possible feedback for these doctors. In the process of reporting their work, we also observe the doctor's devotion to this area.
The borough chief was very sincere and comforting, helping lessen the number of unnecessary tragedies in this community.
Zhang Tingyu, a young woman who was a victim of the Formosa Fun Coast Water Park, underwent many skin graft surgeries, and a year later photos of her were published, illustrating the story of her rebirth, which received an award as well.
A series of these photos appeared in online reports and magazines, influencing many people and giving burn victims a lot of confidence and courage.
Recognition for this remote healthcare program for rural communities, as well as other inspiring stories, highlights the achievements of Taiwan's medical community.
Next, we feature an outstanding doctor from Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, Chou Guoliang, who is the director of pulmonary medicine. He is also the secretary of medical services, as well as the hospital's spokesman. Despite this heavy workload, he also participates in overseas free clinics. What may be more surprising is his concern for the environment. Here's more on his story.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, Dr. Chou Guoliang is getting ready for work. While others may drive expensive cars to work, he simply takes the bus. This bus is filled with passengers, with Dr. Chou having the habit of wearing headphones to listen to music.
It's energy saving and saves on carbon emission, and I have more time to myself. I think taking the bus is quite good.
Travel to the hospital takes about 25 minutes by car, and sometimes during the ride, people will recognize Dr. Chou.
I think we can help people solve their problems if we just take an opportunity to talk to them.
Dr. Chou is the director of pulmonary medicine at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. He's also the secretary of medical services and the spokesman of the hospital. He arrives at his office at about 7:30 a.m. to deal with the administrative matters and never wastes a minute.
He's not mean. Some doctors speak harshly. He's not like that. It's easy to communicate with him.
Dr. Chou carefully examines each patient, with many appreciating his pleasant temperament.
There's no injury to the chest. The X-ray shows us that both the bones and the lungs haven't been injured.
The doctor also goes overseas to take part in free clinics to help disadvantaged patients. While Dr. Chou is quite busy, he doesn't feel that he is overworked. He simply has a different outlook on life.
We just make different use of our time, as some like to sleep or rest, but you can also work to solve different problems.
Tzu Chi Foundation staff Marshall Xiao is one of this year's 12 Outstanding Young Persons Award recipient. He is a designer and architect by trade who has been designing products for Tzu Chi to help people suffering around the world. Marshall also went to school in England and found a profitable job, but then gave it all up to return to Asia.
I always liked drawing ever since I was young. Before I started college, I volunteered at the hospital. Actually, that's where I came into contact with old age, sickness, and death. I hope that one day I will be able to build a hospital back in the Philippines. So that's why I decided to go into architecture. Look here, and you can see some calculations. So the design can't just be good looking. We have to consider the cost of construction.
This is Marshall Xiao, who has been designing disaster relief equipment. He is from the Philippines and went to England to accomplish his dreams of becoming an architect. In 2009, he accepted an invitation from Master Zheng Yan to become a designer for charity and gave up his work and his salary in England.
Taking a concept shared by the master and turning it into a real quantifiable product, that entire process is completely my responsibility.
This bookcase at Marshall Xiao's home is full of awards. Each one marks a step on his path as a professional designer. He has 30 different patents related to his work with Tzu Chi. He has 7 international awards, including an Oscar in the design field and a Red Dot Award. In total, Mr. Xiao can boast over 42 awards for his inventions.
I am very thankful for the master for these awards. Actually, the inspiration for and concept for the work came from the master. As disciples of her teaching, we want to be diligent in turning her ideas into reality.
All of Mr. Xiao's works have one thing in common. They are all meant to benefit humankind.
Empathy is the best kind of inspiration. We should consider and appreciate other people. If you consider things from this perspective, then you'll want to be sure you do the best job you possibly can.
Starting with drawing pictures in his sister's notebooks, Marshall Xiao has grown into a highly capable and empathetic professional who puts a heart of empathy into his work.
I don't pride myself on winning the award. Our responsibility is more important than winning. I want to continue with a persistent effort to keep making better and better products and designs to serve more people.
Of the 7 schools participating in the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings performance taking place in Kedah, Malaysia, Kitwat K Primary School has 130 soon-to-be graduating students participating. These students only had 3 weeks after their final examination to rehearse before the big show. Thus, teachers also had to put in some extra effort to ensure its success. Teaching lessons comes naturally for teachers, but asking them to direct a performance is something completely new.
It's not that easy because we don't have experience in being a show director. It's immensely stressful teaching the students.
Practice was limited to 3 weeks after the students' final exam. The teachers put in charge of teaching the students the movements were under immense pressure as well.
Honestly, it's not really me teaching the students, as I'm learning right alongside them.
Through peer learning, everyone realized more than what was stated in the sutra text.
Students take in affirmations better than scolding. Bad things often just go in one ear and out the other.
As a member of the Tzu Chi Teachers Association, Lloyd Li Fang took it upon herself to coordinate the performance. It was an overwhelming job, but she was glad for the opportunity.
For this performance, I had to start from zero, but I was willing. I wanted to give my students the best.
As rehearsals get better and better, the students have also taken to heart the sutra texts.
Because of flooding and other natural disasters continuing to happen on Earth, we need to keep doing recycling.
At the final dress rehearsal, teachers were even more emotional than the students at seeing the end result.
Can it be done? I was skeptical, but seeing their final rehearsal today, I was really amazed.
Learning from the same Dharma and growing wisdom, this time together, is also a wonderful memory of the last days of school for both the teachers and the students. The 2016 Tzu Chi Overseas Volunteers Training Camp in Taichung has ended this past weekend, with more than 100 kitchen volunteers preparing 3 meals a day for the trainees. Apart from offering the trainees nutritious and delicious cuisine, kitchen volunteers also taught them how to make instant rice.
Here at the Overseas Volunteers Training Camp, trainees are learning to make instant rice for dinner on their own.
We mix vegetables with some spice. After stirring them evenly, we pour some rice into the pot.
Though many trainees try this cuisine for the first time, everyone shows their potential with the guidance of kitchen volunteers. On the tables are still many other delicious dishes which are cooked by kitchen volunteers.
I get up about 3 a.m. almost every day, but I feel happy to do all of this. So I get up in the early morning and come to join with them.
I have to prepare for these meals before daybreak, but it is good to keep early hours anyway.
Each day, 100 kitchen volunteers mobilize to prepare for breakfast, while 150 people join to cook for lunch and dinner separately. Everyone works together to provide nutritious and delicious meals for overseas volunteers.
Everyone cooks the meals with joy, so each dish is full of love and warmth. This allows everyone to joyfully taste the veggie food.
With these delicacies in the camp, each overseas volunteer can not only taste unique dishes, but also feel warmth and love from their Tzu Chi family.
Continuing with our reports from the training camp in Taichung, for each day of the event, nearly 70 media volunteers from central Taiwan, along with some overseas volunteers, joined to document the event. With the heavy burden of their work, many volunteers slept less than 5 hours a day during the camp.
Volunteers are operating camera drones to capture aerial views. Everyone works together to photograph with a large camera crane. As the Overseas Volunteers Training Camp, Tzu Chi media volunteers from central Taiwan make good use of a recycled spotlight for lighting in the TV studio.
来看下了，讲几句吧。这是新的创意啊呢。
We have set up a dark room where a black screen has been set up, and of course, we need to light it.
For each day, 70 media volunteers mobilize to help out. They sleep less than 5 hours a day.
We all hope to record everything they have experienced in their life as well as their touching stories.
Older volunteers are also devoted to media work. 77-year-old Lin Zhaoxiong is in charge of photography.
I might have regrets in the future if I didn't do this work now.
Many overseas volunteers also join to do media work.
More than 30 Tzu Chi brothers and sisters returned from Canada. I came here to accompany them at the certification ceremony. I also want to learn some skills here.
19-year-old Huang Yupei, who comes from Dongguan, China, has been brought up in a single-parent family since her father passed away at the age of 2. She seizes the chance to learn video recording skills as she accompanies her mother, who is attending the certification ceremony in Taiwan.
I have learned to produce express news and eliminate mechanical sounds.
Each media volunteer from central Taiwan maintains their post to record the history of Tzu Chi with both words and cameras.
Next, we meet 3 Tzu Chi News Shoot Scholarship recipients from the same family in Yuli, Taiwan. 51-year-old Zhang Xiaofang is a master's student at National Donghua University. She has raised her 5 children on her own since her husband's passing. This year, 2 of her daughters also won Tzu Chi's financial aid.
Zhang Xiaofang and her daughter teach choir at Zhuofeng Elementary School in Hualien to pass on the language of Bunun tribe.
能够回馈自己的族人。
I like paying back to my people, keeping alive the Bunun culture.
8 years ago, her husband died, so Zhang has been raising her 5 daughters ever since. Their life has been tough, but she still persisted with it. The tiny kitchen, which is also the living room, is where she writes her thesis.
基本上是因为喜欢读书。
It's because I enjoy school, but when I was in college, I encountered a problem, which was my age and my information processing ability. College was very difficult for me.
In her company of Tzu Chi volunteers, her family's life has changed. Because she is optimistic, she is always content.
真的，你非常的这个用心了哈。
You've put in a lot of effort into raising your 5 kids, and each one of them can pay back to society. This is the result of your hard work.
Guo Yuhe enjoys music and has a good voice. She feels fortunate in life with help from many people.
很感谢慈济能够帮助我们家。
I want to thank Tzu Chi for helping my family, so I have the motivation to study. I feel Tzu Chi gives me a certain expectation which I want to fulfill.
Yuhe is in grade 9 now at Yuli Junior High School. She has been receiving the New Shoot Scholarship for 6 consecutive years.
She is very smart and active. She has no troubles in her studies.
Every scholarship from Tzu Chi is an encouragement as well as confirmation of their blessings.
其实你只要
You just do your best. I always tell them that if you have a dream, go after it. Statistics show that more than 46,000 elderly people live alone in Taiwan, with 1/4 of them being classified as low income, requiring assistance to acquire everyday items. With winter approaching, the Federation for the Welfare of the Elderly collected important items for more than 1,000 low-income elderly people, including electric rice cookers.
Taipei City has special garbage bags, so when they collect garbage, we need to pay.
Pointing to this list of items, celebrity Lang Zuyun illustrates the high cost of living for many low-income elders living alone. There are many items which they need but might not be able to access, leading to frustration and bitterness.
I just don't want this child to ask for more money because he gambled my whole house away. Should this happen, I'll thank the heavens and I don't want to desire anything else.
These elderly people living alone have limited financial resources and can't even afford some of the basic necessities of life. The survey found that more than half of them need basic food provisions, while 35% want electrical appliances. From this list, one can easily see that the needs of low-income elderly people living alone is actually not that high.
I can cook myself if I have this rice cooker. It will be more convenient. My neighbors who deliver food Monday through Friday, and on Saturday or Sunday, they don't, so I can just cook for myself.
More than half of these solitary elders need basic household items, such as food and diapers. These are the most needed basic necessities.
Upon receiving these basic supplies, Mrs. Gan is quite happy, as other solitary elders are also experiencing love from the community to help them get through this difficult time.
24-year-old Mabel's son was diagnosed with a malignant gastrointestinal stromal tumor when she was 20. Back then, the doctors told her she only had 3 months to live. However, she didn't give up on life. While making homemade apple turnovers, she was encouraged by her friends to sell her treats online. Now she is even able to donate a portion of her earnings to the Hope Foundation for Cancer Care. Selecting only the best materials to put in her healthy, low-sugar apple turnover, Mabel's son is now putting the finishing touches on the turnovers before they go into the oven.
I
want to find a job. However, I need to visit a hospital regularly each week, and office jobs don't really accommodate my type of schedule.
Mabel's son was diagnosed with a malignant gastrointestinal stromal tumor when she was 20. Back then, her doctor said she had only 3 months to live. But after multiple surgeries and chemotherapy, her condition was under control and in remission. Back in July, Mabel began a small business of selling apple turnovers, and it has seen stable growth since then. She even has enough money left over to donate to the Hope Foundation for Cancer Care.
I just want to do whatever little I can to help other cancer patients who might not be able to work or those families who are struggling financially.
Putting her major in food and beverages studies to good use, Mabel has turned a snack she was making for her boyfriend into an online business. She now sells her apple turnovers via her social media site, which not only helps to make ends meet for her family, but also pays for her medical bills, as well as encourage other cancer patients to live each day to the fullest. This year, Tzu Chi has joined the 3rd annual China International Silver Industry Exhibition in Beijing, an exhibit that caters to elderly care, healthy living for seniors, and retirement services. The foundation has also joined the exhibition this year to promote books, vegetarian food, and more, all suitable for the elderly. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.